talked to Coach Shumpert. He said, hey, we got to stop Iowa's transition. They're one of the best in the country. We've got to compete on the glass, and we want to keep this a low-scoring game, control the tempo, not let Iowa get out and run and hang 100 points on them. That's easier said than done.
Philip Rabacha with the first shot of the night for the Iowa Hawkeyes. A right-handed jump hook from about 8 feet away. Missed, rebounded by North Carolina AT&T. Hawkeyes in a man-for-man defense. Here's a shot from well outside of 3. Skims the front of the rim. Short. Rebounded by Sanford. Ahead to Patrick McCaffrey. That's that transition game you talked about, and a dunk for Patrick McCaffrey.
That's the thing. If you're a point guard or a shooting guard, you can't stand and admire your shot. He shoots the air ball, hangs his head for a second, doesn't sprint back. Patrick McCaffrey goes right by him. That's what Iowa does. They punish your mistakes. You have to get back on defense if you're the Aggies, or you're going to get blown out of this gym.
Here's a drive by Marcus Watson. Under Dipsy layup, misses badly to McCaffrey on the move into the front court on the left side with the right hand, reverse layup and a score.
And if you're Coach Shumpert, it's really early, right? But you maybe use a timeout right here because your entire game plan is to sprint back. That time they got 3 guys, they jog back. Again, Iowa drives it down your throat. This is one of the best transition teams in the country. They have been for the last decade. That's a big problem early. If it happens again, look for him to get to the timeout.
4-0 Iowa right now. Here's the running jump shot from the left side taken by Cam Woods. Rebounded on the long rebound by Austin Johnson. Now North Carolina A&T 90 seconds into this first half on the move, trailing 4-0. Here's a long 3 taken from just right at the top of the key from about 27.
Well, they set up that Spain action, that high ball screen, and then a screen on the screener roll, but he just blew it off and said, hey, fellas, I got to get this crowd calmed down. I'm just going to let one fly.
And Chris Murray answers for the Hawks, left-handed shooter from outside of 3.
He's just going to have a great year. One of the better shooters in the country. All of the forwards on Iowa's team can run, they can pass, and they can flat out shoot it.
That's by design, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's how he recruits.
McCaffrey recruits.
That's how he recruits.
So the Hawkeyes now up 7-3 after the 3 by Chris Murray. North Carolina A&T with it now. Chris was 1 for 4 in Monday's game. Here's a shot taken and missed on the short end by Marcus Watson, rebounded by Tony Perkins. Here comes Perkins. He was the magic man down the stretch, I think, last year for the Hawkeyes. Oh, and Patrick McCaffrey's got it rolling, doesn't he? Look at Fran McCaffrey giving him the eyeball.
With all of the health issues that he's had to overcome, he still finds a way to manage his health and get in the gym. It's not easy for him. But he comes out, he puts in a full effort, and he's just a born scorer. And he told me that a couple weeks ago when I talked to him. He said, I'm just a scorer. There are going to be some nights it's not falling, but I'm not going to stop putting them up. I'm going to take good shots. You saw that in transition.
Here's one dribble jump shot from the right just at the three-point line, taken and missed by Demetri Corton. Down with the rebound is Tony Perkins. McCaffrey, now Perkins. Man-to-man defense set up by North Carolina AT&T. Peyton Sanford on the drive, a whistle, and a blocking foul on North Carolina A&T.
Well, Sanford, one of the best shooters, not only in the Big Ten, but in all the country. And that was a good decision right there, but he didn't come to a jump stop. He got to that paint, went a little too deep, got bailed out by the official. That looked like a turnover.
You know, it's amazing how much difference there is coming from being a star in the high school end to the Division I level of play in this basketball game, how important it is to recognize what it is.
I'll tell you, the guys who can shoot it in high school can usually shoot it at this level. That's not a problem. It's the physicality, the speed, the toughness of the game. But
here's Rabacha with a block on the penetration by Sam Woods all the way to the basket. Can't get it to fall. I got to love that. And Philip Rabacha, he just has grown a lot in 12 months. Physically, you know, you can just see his girth. He's broadened out. Peyton Sanford now on the steal. Kick it to the left side. Chris Murray looks, checks the three-point stance. Probably shouldn't have looked down. Just shoot it.
Great job by Sanford on that one, though. You see the difference. The first time he got too deep. The second time he's got composure in the paint, kicked it out for a wide-open shot.
Down to the 16:05 mark of this first half. Fast action. Here's Patrick McCaffrey in the lane. Patrick now with 9 of Iowa's 12 points.
You don't see the hook shot anymore. The shot that's really replaced that is that fader. That fader is the unguardable shot in the game today, and you just fall back about a foot, put it up over your head and flick it, and that was a beautiful fadeaway.
McCaffrey, 32 games started last year. Of the 32 he played, averaged 10 points a game here on the inside. Nice defense by Chris Murray, and the traveling call against Austin Johnson. We've got a media timeout on the court, 15:40 remaining.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Nudging ahead on Jeremy Robinson, trying to get the pass at about 28 feet from the basket. So Rebraca picks up his first foul.
And Rebraca's got to keep his composure here. He's a little frustrated because he missed those shots. He wanted the foul. He gives up the three-point shot, and then he comes over a little too aggressively. So you got to keep your composure. 6 minutes to go in the half, a lot of game left. You don't want to put your hands on a guy right now and pick up a cheap one.
Out on top is Woods. He just made a three from that same spot. They got a switch off. Rebraca, here's a whistle on the travel call. Nice defense. Tony Perkins stuck his face in there and caused Woods to travel.
It's just great team defense. Rebraca going against a quicker guard. Perkins helps out. Terrible shot. Great defense. That's how you guard.
So with a 30-25 lead, 5:50 remaining in this first half. Hawks with the basketball. Perkins on the left side. Peyton Sanford back in the game. Turnaround jumper off the pick. Not good. High for the rebound for North Carolina A&T is Austin Johnson. I got a whistle. We're going to have a 30-second shot clock.
But they've missed 3 or 4 open shots. They're not going to stop shooting them. And over the course of a couple halves, they'll start hitting them.
20 on the shot clock. With the basketball is Kyle Duke for North Carolina A&T. Nice defense by Chris Murray. High arcing shot over the top of Murray. Not good. The defense caused the missed shot there. Rebounded by Patrick McCaffrey. Brings it into the front court. Rebraca on the left baseline. Cut off by Austin Johnson. Shot from 3 from Chris. Splash. His second 3 of the night. He's in double figures with 11. Well, like you said, they're not going to quit shooting him just because they're missing a few here and there. Here's the nice drive. Cam Woods has done a great job of getting some good body position in those high arcing shots. He now with 13 in the first half. Murray out on top. Rebraca 12 feet from the basket. Facing up on the floor, his whistle on a body foul. That's nice to see him be able to turn face up and put it on the floor at 6'11".
Yeah, he has that in his game, and it's just so much better. It's just amazing being around this coaching staff, and you spend a year with them, you just get better. And he was a little overwhelmed at this time last year. I remember against Utah State last year, Keegan Murray was working with him on switching defense and hedging, and now the maturity, the improvement. If he can keep stepping out and once in a while knock in that face-up jumper,
yes,
it just really shocks the scouting report. And then you say, hey, you got to come out on this kid. Opens up driving lanes.
Yep, for sure. 2 free throws. Makes it an 8-point Iowa Hawkeye advantage at 35-27. 4.5 to go in the first half. Some three-quarter court pressure by the Hawks. Shot from 3. High arcing rainbow from Jeremy Robinson. His first field goal of the night. Robinson was 0 for 2 from 3 in the opener on Monday against Edward Waters. On the inside is Rebraca being pushed all the way across the lane. And a whistle and a ball tipped out of bounds by the Hawkeyes, who belong to North Carolina A&T.
Well, right now the Aggies are comfortable at the offensive end, so it's up to the Iowa defense, but to put together a couple stops to break this rhythm and go down and punish the Aggies at the offensive end.
Cam Woods now working on Rebraca. They got that switch off. Now Perkins
they got to come back to him.
Duncan Powell. But Perkins not afraid to guard out there, is he?
Bad shot.
Turnaround jumper missed by Powell. That's great defense by Tony Perkins. Skying for the rebound is Chris Murray. Back to Murray. Left-handed dribble down the lane. He goes. Left-handed shot soft off the board.
I mean, Cam has the mismatch against Rebraca. He gives it up. Bad shot at one end. Man, no team in the Big Ten punishes you more for a bad shot than Iowa. They just take it and ram it down your throat. And what a change in momentum right there. That was a big possession.
Here's the handoff from Powell to Cam Woods. On the inside, goes for the left. Has it blocked. Who's other than Rebraca with that block? Patrick McCaffrey leading the break all the way down the lane. On the right side, he'll be fouled by Kyle Duke. Good ball handling skills by McCaffrey. At the free throw line is Patrick McCaffrey. McCaffrey 5 for 8 from the floor. His first free throw attempt is good. Like you said, you live from the free throw line. Those points are so very important.
Iowa shoots such a high percentage. So many guys work on that, and he definitely has a nice stroke, but he just does so many things for this team. I mean, there he is at the top of the press, using that length. He's just got to improve his rebounding a little bit. Look at this.
And he gets a steal at 6'9". He's so long, hard to get that ball around him. A steal and a layup at the basket. So just like that, 4 quick points for the Hawks and now a double-digit lead.
Yeah, Chris Street used to play in the front of that press, and Brad Lohaus, obviously Aaron White, Dev Marble. They just
Well,
put
I'm not
those.
going to let you get by without saying Jess Settles.
Well,
you were there all the time.
I wasn't as long and quick as those guys, but it's fun to be up there, and it's amazing how the momentum has switched. Slap a little press on a team, get a quick steal. These guys come at you in waves, and Fran McCaffrey's still chewing on the officials.
44-32 the lead for the Iowa Hawks after Peyton Sanford with a 3-ball here this moment.
That
on
doesn't
the
work.
inside,
That
Marcus
doesn't work.
Watson.
Yep.
And a player control foul is called. Nice defense by Chris Murray to set in there and get Marcus Watson to plow into him.
There's too much length and size inside for the Hawkeyes to dribble the ball 5 times and attack the whole team on defense. You got to move the ball. They've lost their composure just a little bit. Swing it side to side, make the Hawkeyes overplay, and then attack the gaps. But you want to take on the whole world. I don't care if the defender's moving a little bit. You're never going to get that call.
Peyton Sanford now 2 for 4 from three-point range on the night. Has 8 points. On the inside, Rabacha. They find him. He knows exactly what to do with it from 4 feet away. He was going up with that sky hook dunk, and he's fouled by Dimitri Horton. And Rabacha will go to the free throw line. You know, you talk about free throws, Jess. A year ago, the Hawkeyes were at 75% from the line, but they shot 697 in 36 games. So you're talking about 20 free throws a game on the average to shoot. They made 522.
You remember a year ago, they got off to a rough start defensively. They couldn't rebound with anybody for a couple games in there, and I talked to Patrick about it. He said, we just kind of came together and said, look, we're not going to have the type of year we have to have if we don't do those things. And they figured it out. And there was a stretch in there where they were just pounding everybody in the league, even on the road, just blowing teams out, became one of the top teams in the country, and won a Big Ten championship. And these guys are winners, and they know how to figure it out. And they play with such a high basketball IQ, just like in this game. They've just figured it out on the fly, and that's a mature team.
Yeah, winning that Big Ten title last year, that 4-game run through the tournament, a thing of beauty, especially the championship game against Purdue. Tony Perkins, I remember, but all of them, down the stretch in those last 2 minutes of that Purdue game, they knew they were going to win that game. Sanford on the inside to Perkins at the baseline. He goes up for the 4-footer, partially blocked by Duncan Powell, but back to the Hawks. Murray on the drive into the lane score. 15 on the night for Chris.
A 3-level score, right? You could just see that he lived in the gym with Kenyon and Keegan this summer. 2 times in this game, just blows by the defender, rises above, and makes a sweet play.
16-point advantage now for the Hawkeyes. 1:10 left in this first half. Shot from 3 from Woods. Back of the iron, Patrick McCaffrey down with another rebound. And for Patrick, that is his 5th of the night. Rabacha out on top. Here's Sanford attacking the basket. High off the board, that top square in that glass. Nice soft touch.
Boy, he's going to be fun to watch for the next few years.
Really coming into his own. It's amazing. He's one that I was kind of alluding to. Coming out of Waukee, he had a great high school career, but boy, you step into this, the first thing it does, it initially has to increase your adrenaline flow to play. And then number 2, you just pick it up from there as you're playing every day.
You just never know how somebody's going to respond to this level. You really don't. But from the first day he stepped on campus, he just figured it out.
Long 3 taken by Dimitri Horton is not good. Now the Hawks will have to get rid of it on a shot here. There's 27 on the game, 20 on the shot clock. So a 7-second differential between clocks. Tony Perkins now guarding out on top from Cam Woods. Hawks setting up something low. Out of the left wing, Peyton Sanford. Patrick McCaffrey, shot clock at 3. Shot from 18, not good. And it's rebounded by 8 and T. Tony Perkins comes up with the steal. And the shot, just under 2 seconds left in this first half. Just didn't give up on it, Jess.
Fran McCaffrey's not afraid to play 10, 11, 12 guys. And so
he's almost going to have to at some point, the way the game is played.
You got Ulis and Connor McCaffrey over on the bench, Bowen.
He's got to bring those young guys along, especially. North Carolina A&T begins the second half with the basketball. Here's a shot from on top of the three-point line by Dimitri Horton. Make it a 52-34 game, stops that 11-0 run.
Great job by Horton coming out with some confidence. It's a tough shot, but he's going to have a big second half if they can get back in it.
Chris Murray on a drive along that left baseline, so quick with that first step.
You know, he had an interesting decision to make this summer. I mean, obviously a lot of hype around Keegan and well-deserved, just a special year. But Chris went through a lot of NBA camps and impressed those teams. And if you have that type of length and ball skills and obviously can shoot the way he can shoot, you're going to be on everybody's radar. And he shot the lights out. And there was talk that he might not come back. Now, he made a great decision because there's nothing like wearing this uniform, and you don't want to take that risk if you're not going to be a first-round pick. But don't kid yourself. He's going to, as they say in the NFL, he's going to play on Sundays.
Makes both free throws here. Is up to 17 points for the night. Here's the drive by Austin Johnson, and he'll be fouled by Rabracha.
We got to get Tony Perkins in the open court now. I mean, the fans want to see this guy above the rim. He can fly.
He can. And he does it when he knows he can do it. Otherwise, he's fills that role. He puts the effort into what needs to be done to help this Iowa team be successful. On a possession, like right there. Steal.
Look at that.
And a pass to Sanford for the score.
I'll tell you what. When Tony Perkins jumped in the starting lineup last year, everything changed. And Iowa had a Final Four caliber team because of plays just like that. He's got the toughness, the athletic ability, an extremely high basketball IQ. And, oh, by the way, he's very unselfish. Look at that pass.
Along the right baseline, fights Chris Murray outside of 3 on the left wing and knocks it down. Chris Murray now up to 20 points. Yeah, Tony Perkins, he's the kind of guy you like on the basketball court. Just kind of bulldogs you as a player. He just loves to play, just wants to play, can mix it up. And a whistle on the timeout asked for by Philip Shumpert.
On the broad shoulders of Woolridge, who's as good of a guy you'll ever be around, a Hall of Famer here at the University of Iowa. I hope he's listening tonight. He was a spectacular teammate and a legend.
He's sitting back now and enjoying the conversation we're having about it. But here on the inside to Patrick McCaffrey, the follow by Rabracha, and the put in, and now it's a 27-point lead for the Hawks. I think so many people, Jess, here's the long three taken and missed by Woods. Fighting for the rebound, coming down with it is Chris Murray. On the move in the front court, survey in the court. Dribbles through the free throw line, has nothing to Patrick McCaffrey. Sanford for 3, in and out, not good. Chris Murray on the follow for the layup and score.
That was a great pass. It looked like Sanford kind of caught that one on his ring finger. It didn't come off right. Murray cleans up the mess. I mean, the thing about Chris is I would have never – hard to believe that he has 22 points. He does it so efficiently and so quietly. He's only taken 11 shots.
Yep. Efficient. Very efficient. Back to the Andre Woolridge thing. So many people like to see a point guard who's flashy. And Andre wasn't flashy per se as a point guard, but he got the job done. And Tom Davis knew that. Sanford
with
an assist for Perkins and a 3-ball.
I mean,
they're running away with it now.
I knew that first rotation wasn't right. That one was pure, and that didn't even come close to hitting the rim.
North Carolina A&T with the basketball. 3 minutes through this second half. The Hawks now have blown up a score of 66-34 along the left baseline. Shot from 17 by Woods is not good. Here comes Peyton Sanford. Reverse pivot at the free throw line. Running jump shot off the board and the score. Street ball coming to play now. Hear him, and they're loving to do that too.
This is what he did in the Big Ten championship game. He really was the X factor. The way he came out and hit clutch shots down the stretch, made plays just like that. And I mean, it seems like a lot of Iowa kids, when they get recruited, there's a lot of doubt. Can they play at this level? And he's just another one that's come along and just shattered that thought process.
Cam Woods now with 16 points on his second three-point ball of the evening. 68-37. 16-15 to go along the left wing drive for Chris Murray. You know, they got to realize he's left-handed, right, Jess? I mean, why you want to let him go left?
Well, that's what they're going to tell him. Look,
man.
That's what Coach Shumpert's going to tell him in the video session tomorrow. Like, you got the scouting report. You got to at least force him right. I know my old coach, Dr. Tom's watching tonight. Gary Close, our old assistant coach, he's watching tonight. His son Sam is one of the managers on the Hawkeye team. Their daughter Ellen will be watching. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to text me after the game and say, what are you, nuts, comparing Perkins to Andre? I mean, that's blasphemy to them probably, right? So we're just having a little fun with that. We're throwing it out there. We're not saying it's happening now, but Tony is he's exceeded expectations. He's a big-time baller.
He's found his spot on this Iowa basketball team. Patrick McCaffrey with the drive down the lane has it rolled off his leg and out of bounds. Now to North Carolina A&T. Watson on the drive. Kick out to the right wing. Shot from three by Woods. Not good. Rebounded by Sanford. Here come the Hawks on the run in the front court. Down the little high pass and alley-oop. Perkins couldn't go up and dunk it, so he catches it, brings it down, goes up for the layup. Tony with only 6 points here tonight, but he's played a large role in this game.
Well, it's just amazing, his instincts. He knows that Peyton gets the rebound, so he automatically fills and takes the two roll. He doesn't go looking for the ball and slow up the break. He just fills, sprints the court. It wasn't a great lob to him. He would have torn that rim off had it been a better pass, but Rude Olson and George Raveling and Dr. Tom and Gary Close and all those guys and those wonderful teams, to be able to be a part of it was something special. And it really hurt the program with the COVID break. You know, with Luka's senior year, this place would have been juiced with him in here, and you lose a little bit of momentum and people start changing their habits. And I had this conversation with Connor and Coach McCaffrey today. Just you start changing your habits a little bit. You get the big screen TV. It's these cold winter nights. But this team is ahead of schedule. They're going to have a really good year. Can they have a great year like last year? Time will tell. But they are surprisingly long. They're very versatile, a lot of interchangeable parts. And they've got a good leader in Connor McCaffrey. Obviously, he's been here. Man, has he been here as long as I was? I'm not sure it was that long.
No.
But he just knows how to win and play and lead. This program really took the next step when Connor matured. Yeah. It's one of the best passers we've ever had come through here. And whether it was Tyler Cook or Luka Garza or Keegan Murray, you ask any of those guys to say, what was the difference? They'll just say, you know, Connor just knew where to get us the ball when it mattered the most. So you're right. It's fun when this place is packed. And there's some big games coming up, and I think it will be.
72-41 the lead. Nice pass
cut
on the inside. Patrick McCaffrey the score. Whistle and a foul on Marcus Watson. Watson had scored for North Carolina A&T on a previous possession for the Aggies, but he picks up his fourth foul, and he'll come out of the ball game at the 14:29 mark. That'll hurt them a lot. Philip Rebracha will come out. It's Josh Ogundele seeing some time on the court. Back to the Connor McCaffrey thing. I went to Vegas 3 years ago when they went and played Texas Tech and San Diego State. And Connor McCaffrey was the difference in that Texas Tech win. Had only 5 points, but his presence on the basketball court made the game different.
Yeah, no question. I had a good talk with him a year ago at this time, and he was very concerned about the season, believe it or not. He says the new guys, the young guys, are just not processing it quick enough. I don't know if we have the size to be the team we want to be. We're not guarding very well. We're not rebounding. It's just unbelievable what he did to get these guys to take the next step. I mean, you would have never dreamed. I don't think he would have dreamed they were going to be Big Ten champs at that time. But he's a great leader, and Patrick's going to have a monster year as well. I mean, he's a force.
"21 points for Patrick McCaffrey on that three-point make, and an assist from brother Connor. Again, that team ball. Yeah, Connor has talked about the brotherhood. There's a couple of different families. With the Sanford brothers going to be here, and of course Connor and Patrick McCaffrey. How makes them even closer as brothers?
Yeah, just that chemistry. And I think the first time I saw Connor play was at Iowa City West. I was a freshman in high school, and I just thought, my goodness, this guy can pass people open, and he just hasn't changed. A lot of people doubted whether he could make this kind of contribution at this level, but his dad never doubted him, and he leaves here with the Big Ten championship. Now he wants to get to a Sweet 16, a Final Four, and don't count this team out. If history's any indication, they just get better every year.
And they got 30 games to play. You're not going to win it in November. You'll win it in March, April, I guess. And you got to take it game by game. The Big Ten's going to be another difficult season. Here's a shot from three taken and missed by Tyrese Elliott. On the move, it's Aaron Eulis in the game for the Hawks. Connor McCaffrey out of the left wing. I think a lot of people's negativity towards Connor was the fact that he couldn't shoot the three ball very well, but he could play the game. Those are things that people don't look at, just the way he plays the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's been off to a hot start from beyond the arc this year. I mean, he worked on that over the summer. This is the first time he's partially healthy. He's not 100% healthy. His body's taking a beating, but he's not playing baseball, so he's a lot more focused on it. But, he has an opportunity. He wants to coach in the NBA, maybe at the college level. He's going to be a great coach. It was interesting earlier in the year, Coach McCaffrey put Connor with the second team just so they could learn from him, and that's the sign of a future coach, when you can make the guys around you better. He leaves here a champion, and he's just been an integral part of the success here over the last few years.
Desante Bowen at the free throw line makes his first free throw. Played 16 minutes in the win over Bethune-Cookman on Monday, scored 6 points. And the second one rims.
Now, Bowen's got some nice handles. He can go either way.
Well, he's one of those players you talked about that's just going to develop, and as he stays with it, believes in the program, accepts the coaching, he will be fine. On the inside, it's Austin Johnson being fouled by Josh Ogundele.
Now, these are big, important minutes for Josh. I mean, he's got to take advantage of this, play hard, sprint the court, play with high basketball IQ, but this is a good opportunity for him to get better in a real game, and they're going to need him, especially when conference play comes along and you start going up against what Hayden Fry used to call all those big uglies. There's a lot of them, right?
Yes,
some
sir.
Power guys.
Oh, yeah.
I miss Hayden.
Yeah, no question. Austin Johnson with 4 points, misses the first free throw, makes the second free throw. Johnson had 7 points in the win over Edward Waters on Monday night in their opener for this basketball season. He up with 5 points. Johnson a year ago on the inside. Now Josh Ogundele, left-handed off the board. Not good, but he is fouled by Duncan Powell.
To swing that around the defender, then when it hits the floor, it comes up a foot to your left, so it hits the big man right in the hands. That's just a skill that most guys don't have. You got to go to the free throw line to make these. But great, valuable minutes here for number 23.
So there's a physical presence to that bounce pass, huh?
Absolutely. You want to put the right spin on it, the right English, so when it hits the ground, it darts to the left and comes right up. The defensive guy guarding the ball can't get his hand on it. It's a science.
Yeah,
Connor McCaffrey. He probably has a PhD by now. He's been around here long enough.
He's working on it anyway. North Carolina A&T with the basketball, trailing by 35 points, 79-44 on the inside. Nice steal by Aaron Eulis. Got his hands on it. Ogundele and Connor McCaffrey. Bowen down the lane had a shot at going in for layup. Pulls it out.
Great decision by Bowen, and that's one of the things he's going to have to work on. He can get to the rim, but is it worth it? Do you want to get your shot blocked? You want to make a foolish play. He pulls it out, and they get a better shot out of it. So high IQ play by Bowen. He's going to figure that out as he gets a little bit older. One of the toughest things as a former coach and a player for the young guys is not to force things that aren't there. You think you can make that play in high school. You can't make it always at this level.
Aaron Eulis on the layup for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and a great penetration on the left side, and a traveling call against North Carolina A&T on their possession at the 10:58 mark of this second half, reaching that halfway point here at Carver Hawkeye Arena on the campus of the University of Iowa. Hawks with it. Bowen at the free throw line. Now to Eulis. Ogundele.
Yeah,
Connor
take
can
that
look
shot,
at the three.
Connor.
Take it. Nice rotation, just short. And rebounded by Austin Johnson on the run. North Carolina A&T. Underneath reverse layup missed by Love Bettis.
What a shot. You got to love the effort.
There's that bounce pass that you talked about. Connor McCaffrey, Josh Ogundele, and layup.
You know, why throw a lazy lob in there and get it stolen? You got to put that sucker hard on the floor, let it bounce right up into him. It looks easy on TV. It's really hard. Most guys can't make that pass. And Tyler Cook, Luka Garza, Keegan Murray, they all know what it's like to get one of those from Mr. Assist, Connor McCaffrey.
Ogundele misses the free throw. His first field goal of the night. Had 2 points in the win over Bethune-Cookman. There's that man Connor McCaffrey with the steal.
There you go.
Eulis dribble across the lane. Shot from 14, not good. Ogundele, offensive rebound putback. Hey, he's enforcing himself in that middle. Going to need him down the stretch, Jess Settles, as you take a look at this basketball team. Rebraca can do only so much, and he will need a break. And, you know, it could be for some significant minutes at times, especially in the second half.
Oh, absolutely. It's just huge for him to take the next step.
Ogundele on the rebound on the missed shot to Aaron Eulis down the lane. Layup, score! They're starting to pick up that game now. 87-44. Iowa likes that century mark. Even if they take their time, have an opportunity to get there now. Here's the drive by Duncan Powell. It's good. Well, you're going to have a breakdown defense once in a while. Josh Dix into the ball game, finds Ogundele, has it tipped away from him, and now into the hands of North Carolina A&T, and down the middle it's Woods.
I think we got a net problem down here.
Yeah, they're shooting the ball so softly that the net just tipped itself out of the eyelet up there on the rim. They're going to have to get that fixed before they can continue play once they recognize that they have it. Yeah, Josh Dix into the ball game, freshman from Council Bluffs, who prepped at Lincoln High School in Council Bluffs. Coming off the screen, no shot. Now to Connor McCaffrey out of the left wing. Outside of three, on top Eulis. Shot clock at 15. Haven't had to talk about it much. On the inside, Bowen reverse pivot. Layup missed. Rebounded by Webster Fillmore. Into the front court's Demetric Horton. Horton's been quieted all night. Long, high arcing three. Splash. His fifth point, first three-point ball of the night. Out of the right wing.
Josh Dix.
Dix with a shot from three and a score.
I'll tell you, at shoot-around today, he didn't miss a shot, and they were deep. He has a bright future. coming off the serious leg injury, a little bit tentative. If he can get completely healthy, get a little confidence, this kid is going to be a force. He is an amazing shooter.
90-49, the lead for the Hawks here on the drive along the left free throw lane line. It's Powell. He's fouled by Dix. Again, Dix, one of those players then, Jess, that just has to develop his game at this Division I level.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, you talk about a brutal month. You throw Duke into the picture. You throw Iowa State in there, Seton Hall. So many golden opportunities ahead for the Hawkeyes, but not much room for error. Pretty smart scheduling to get a few games under your belt with all these new faces. But it's going to get a lot tougher a lot sooner. But shooting usually travels. This team can shoot. They can push the ball. Defense has to take the next step. Exciting time for Iowa basketball.
First free throw missed by Duncan Powell. And he'll make the second free throw, his third point of the night. So after tonight, the Hawkeyes will head to Seton Hall on the 16th. What do you have, a Friday? That'll be next Thursday, next Wednesday. Omaha then on the 21st, and then they head to Florida for Clemson and TCU or California. Nice penetration. Aaron Eulis for the layup. His sixth point of the night.
Perkins and Eulis have just gotten so much better. And you talk about Eulis, talk about a guy who could have left. There's so many kids who transfer, and maybe things aren't going the way he wants them to. He just sticks it out, and he's going to have a big role this year. But nobody on the team is quick at getting to the rim as he is.
Dimitri Horton with his second consecutive three-point goal has 8 points. Kind of a little late. Nice
pass.
Give and go. And Riley Mulvey in the ballgame for the Hawks tonight. And a dunk. No, that's just the basic pick and roll, wasn't it, Jess? And a roll to the basket and an easy dunk. Mulvey running the court. Nice pass from Eulis. Has his shot blocked. Marcus Horton into the front court. Here's a whistle and a foul on Connor McCaffrey. Not going to allow him penetrate down the lane. Riley Mulvey, a 6'11", 245-pound sophomore from Rotterdam, New York. St. Thomas More. You know, fortunately for Fran, he's got connections out there on the East Coast, but of many of the thousands of athletes that he was looking at, he found something in Mulvey that he liked and brought him here to Iowa City.
Yeah, I had a good conversation with Gary Close today when I was driving down here to Iowa City, my former coach, and been friends with Fran McCaffrey for a long time. And we were just talking about some programs who have struggled, and you got to be able to find those diamonds in the rough. You have to be able to find a Luka Garza before he explodes on the national scene. Mulvey, Aaron Whites, Dom Yules. Do they all work out? No. But Coach McCaffrey has had a lot of winners. He just knows what these kids can become. There you go, Connor.
Connor McCaffrey with his first three ball of the night. And it gives the Hawks a 97-55 lead. Continue. Here's a steal for Dix on the move. North Carolina A&T retreating. Missed the layup. Connor McCaffrey, his left-handed tip, a little too strong and falls off the iron.
It's just interesting, Coach McCaffrey, giving these youngsters an opportunity to get heavy minutes here down the stretch, but he keeps Connor on the floor with him, right? I mean, he needs to have the rock out there.
Yeah.
Things get helter-skelter, start making plays that aren't there, but
sure.
It's kind of fascinating to see how his role has changed over the years from role player.
Beauty. What a
leader.
pass by Eulis. Finds Mulvey in another dunk. Yeah, Connor's that rock, as you talked about, but he's the leader out there. They look for him for that leadership, but he lets them do their thing as long as they're playing the game they're supposed to be playing. North Carolina A&T as well as substituting. That's Chase McDuffie. Here's Deontay Bowen into the front court. Eulis for three. He'll have to be working on that. Rebounded by Connor McCaffrey. Put back and score. 101-55. Here's Marcus Watson. Quickly on the offensive end, he had 16 points. Here comes Ulis. He'll step back right on top of the three-point line. He'll miss the shot.
Uh-oh. Look who's coming into the game over there.
Yeah.
Carter Kingsbury.
Josh Ogundele comes back in, and Carter Kingsbury. If he doesn't look like his father,
man,
bulk, size, I think he's got a little bit of play about him. I don't think he's quite as big as Dad, but Chris Kingsbury sure could shoot that ball, couldn't he?
Yeah, and so can Carter. And when he touches it, he usually lets it fly. I'm not real happy about that pass right there, Carter.
On the inside, Bowen goes up for the shot, has it blocked.
Well, Sherman Dillard had the scout for this game, and they had to go through a lot of actions today. The Aggies have a lot of sets. They do some squirrely things defensively, but that run at the end of the half just overwhelmed them. And if there's one thing, that came out of COVID now, the coaches are basically wearing these golfing shirts and sweatsuits. And I mean, Sherman Dillard used to be the best dressed assistant coach in the country.
I agree with you.
Bow tie Sherman Dillard.
Bar none.
It's over now. I mean, he was going to get an NIL deal from some clothing outfit. Now,
yeah,
I talked to him earlier. He said, I don't know what to do with all my old suits.
Well, maybe the Adidas and the Nikes and the sports
it's just
apparel.
Not the same.
Well, they need to come up with something. I love the classy look. Tom Davis was as well dressed as anybody, but it has changed.
Yeah, those days are
nice
over.
Drive along the right free throw lane line. Horton in the double figures with 10 points. And I think Jess, they talked about issuing the change because of comfort. Who was not comfortable wearing a suit and tie on that sideline? I know a guy.
I mean, the coaches love it. Let's be real.
I was thinking about on the way down here. Gene Cady didn't like to wear his sport coat very much.
He threw it a few times, didn't he? Bob Knight with the sweater.
He was the best.
Huggy Bear.
Yeah.
The golf. He started it.
Yeah. How about Digger Phelps now? With his flamboyant looks.
Yeah. Those. They said Ronnie Lester, if he doesn't blow that knee out, Iowa's going to be cutting down the nets for a national championship. He was that good. Magic Johnson just all raved about him, and the stories are legendary about Ronnie, and he's just one of the all-time greats and the best to ever play here in most people's minds.
And he was just such a team-oriented basketball player, but he was so explosive. He was Isaiah Thomas before Isaiah Thomas. Carter Kingsbury misses the first, makes the second. But he ran the team well. You're right. That 1980 team could have been a national championship team. The 1987 team could have been a national championship team, had they not lost to UNLV in that.
Well, the UNLV game is obviously the most heartbreaking game of my life. I wasn't even on the team, obviously, but I think I broke a few springs on the couch that day. Kevin Gamble obviously hitting the big shot to send us into that game, and it just
well, they beat Oklahoma to get there.
Yeah, he hit the big one against Oklahoma.
Had a 20-point lead in that first half at halftime. And
I had breakfast, I'm going to say 20 years ago in Bloomington, Indiana with Bobby Knight. We're at the Denny's, and we're just talking sports. And without me even bringing up that team, he brings it up, and he says, Dr. Tom's teams there in the late 80s, he goes, they're probably the most talented team that I coached against. And that was just high praise. Indiana won the championship in 87 with Keith Smart and Alford, but a lot of people thought that Iowa team was the best team in the country that year.
For sure. Well, they were ranked number 1 for a while. They destroyed Indiana during the year. But, you've got to be playing your best at the end. Josh Ogundele with his third field goal has 6 points. Down to 2:20 to go in this basketball game. Hawks will be looking for a trip out to New York. I think this I want to say it's at Madison Square Garden, but it has to do with the Big East Challenge or some kind of Big Ten play. Shot and score for Dimitri Horton. And here's the shot, Carter Kingsbury. You know, I didn't ever know Chris, but I knew Kenyon, or I know Kenyon Murray, and got to know him pretty well for a couple of years. And he talked a lot about Chris Kingsbury being an enigma.
He was a McDonald's All-American out of Hamilton, Ohio, the same town, I believe, that produced Greg Stokes.
Correct.
So what a couple legends coming out of there. But, Kenny Murray was a McDonald's All-American. Andre Woolridge should have been a McDonald's All-American. By the way, happy birthday today to Andre Woolridge.
Happy birthday, Andre Woolridge.
Yeah, so he should have been one. And then we got one more I can't even think of. We had another McDonald's All-American at the time. But just great recruits coming in. Chris Kingsbury, he's one of the few players in Big Ten history that when we would go on the road, people would show up just to see him shoot it from half court. It was truly amazing. There were fans from the other team that would cheer for Chris Kingsbury, which is just you just don't ever hear that. He's one of the elite passers to ever play too. A great teammate, but ahead of his time. I mean, obviously Steph Curry. J.J. Redick and those guys have taken shooting Klay Thompson to a whole nother level, but when Chris Kingsbury was taking him from the Hawkeye beak, it was not accepted at the lower levels, and all these high school coaches were like, you can't take that shot. And Chris and Coach Davis were like, hey, for me, it's a good shot.
It is.
And it's
high
so,
percentage for him.
Just so nice to see Carter doing well here and fitting in. And wait a second, he's got that game too.
Nice penetration, and Mulvey with the tip pass back to him on the rebound. Mulvey's shot wouldn't go as well. I remember the night Chris Kingsbury made 9 3-point shots, set the game scoring, game 3-point shot record. I was working with Ron Gonder that night. 9 of them. And I think the 9th one was right where it says Mediacom Court. On the inside, here's Austin Johnson.
Well, I played with Chris, obviously, and Kent McCausland led the nation in three-point shooting one year. I mean, obviously, Jason Bohannon lately has been great. Matt Gatens, Peter Jock.
Yes. The list goes on and on. Nice drive in there for North Carolina A&T's Kyle Duke. He's fouled by Luke Laquetta. He's a 6'5", 180-pound sophomore out of Concord, Michigan. Slipped one out of Michigan. That's where Tom Davis used to get, that 87, 86, 87, 85, 86, 87, 88 teams, with Rucker. Well, before, I guess that would have been before Guy because he was from Detroit anyway. But BJ, you've got, now I got to try to remember them all. There were 6 of them, 6 NBA players on that team. Bill Jones.
Yeah, it was so fun. I mean, Fran McCaffrey and
Jeff
Dr. Tom,
shooter,
the speed, the getting up and down. It's really entertaining.
There's 17 seconds remaining in the game. Iowa's going to go to 2-0 and head to New Jersey next week for the game against Seton Hall. That'll be a barn burner. That's a 6:30 start time. I would assume that's Central Standard Time. Desante Bowen at the free throw line makes the free throw. He up to 6 points. Ahmad Hamilton coming in for North Carolina A&T. I guess you got to credit A&T for coming in and playing as hard and as well as they possibly could. They gave the Hawks a good run for about the first 12, 13 minutes of that first half.
They really did, and it's tough over 40 minutes to keep Iowa from blowing you off the court. They come at you so hard. They're so unselfish, get high percentage looks. And
there's a nice running jump shot by Kyle Duke. 8 seconds remaining.
Somebody just reached out and said it was actually George Raveling who started the jumpsuit craze, right?
It was, that's right.
That is brilliant. You're right.
That's right.
It all started here in Carver.
Yeah,
George.
Carver, no doubt about it.